Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's live broadcast. So tonight we joined with Bobby, C, and Theo. I'm gonna add you guys. How you doing?
Hey guys. Hello, everyone.
Cool. So thanks, guys, for joining. So it's tonight's broadcast is called "We Are the Solution." So it's a non-12 step approach to aftercare. Bobby, I'm going to share this just to your channel quick. Share to group. There we go. There we go. Okay, you just got to give it permission on your end. So, guys, if you're watching, you're likely watching on one of the public channels. The public channels are the MyRehab Helper Facebook profile, the ARC Facebook page, or the MyRehab Facebook page, and the duly diagnosed YouTube channel. So we're going to broadcast on those channels for the first 10 to 15 or 20 minutes, depending. And after that, we're going to switch over strictly to the MyRehab Cafe private and unsearchable Facebook group. If you want to know how to join the MyRehab Cafe group, please send me a WhatsApp message. My number's up on the screen at the bottom there. Send me a WhatsApp and I can give you some more info, or you can go to www.myrehabcafe.com or .co.za. You can find out more there. MyRehab Cafe is free to any person that's been in an ARC or MyRehab Facebook, an ARC or MyRehab inpatient process. So send me a WhatsApp and I can add you. And what else is there? Oh, if you're on the MyRehab Cafe, if you're watching on that channel and you want a higher degree of anonymity or confidentiality, please wait until we switch over purely to the MyRehab Cafe group. That'll happen after about 15-20 minutes. You'll see the notification come up that we're switching over, and you can have a higher degree again of anonymity or confidentiality on that channel. So with that, Bobby, I'm going to hand it over to you, man. It's your show.
Hey everyone, Theo, Ryan, everyone out there in Facebook land, social media land, YouTube land. Welcome back to We Are the Solution on MyRehab Cafe. And I encourage everyone to go over to, like Ryan just said, go over to www.myrehabcafe.com. Check it out so you can join us on the of course we go from live and then we go to private. So check us out. Now today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We're going to be talking about who's that? Tony down there. Welcome, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
We're going to be talking about, I brought this subject up. It came to me, and Ryan was sharing some personal things that he went through all day long. Real, personal and real hard stuff today, But before I came on, I kind of just posted something to the channel, and it was about letting go. The word letting go, a lot of people have these meanings. What does letting go to you? No, I don't believe in letting go. I believe in taking control. I don't believe in just letting things go. To me, I was talking to Ryan about it. And to me, the art of letting go, I believe it's an art. I believe it's a practice. I have to practice it, and I'm still practicing it today. I still practice letting things go. And I don't use the word God, but I say the serenity prayer. I'll say it, grant me serenity. I could say grant me. I'm saying myself, grant me. It's almost like grant me. I'm taking a breath and grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can. But the part is the wisdom to know the difference. Somebody says, oh, that's AA's prayer. That's not Alcoholics Anonymous prayer. Just get that out of your head. Get that out of everybody's head. It was borrowed from, it's years and years and years ago, this serenity prayer. But I like it because it helps me to kind of decipher where I am in letting things go. what I can let go and what I can't let go, and when I keep on going and try to control something, and then I get to a little block, and then I say to myself, it's time to let this go. And it helps me with worry, definitely worrying, it helps me with worrying. So I want to go there today. I want to go positive today. I want to talk about a lot of things, and I want to talk about the things that we can apply right now in our lives that help us, So let's go there a little bit with it. Anybody want to talk a little bit about that? And Ryan, it doesn't come on my yeah. Who wants to follow that up?
Tony.
I'm very cool, thank you, guys. I'm listening.
You're listening, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think letting go is an important skill to develop. It's like a muscle. I believe that if you don't exercise it, it could possibly make you feel like you are responsible for things that you may not necessarily be responsible for, or make you feel like you're trying to control something that is not necessarily in your control. I know that learning the skill or the art of letting go was vital in my journey in recovery. And because if without that skill, I quickly get into a state where I feel helpless and powerless and discouraged. So yeah, I think I'm excited to hear how Bobby's going to unpack this thing about letting go.
Ryan?
Okay, so I think it's I struggle with letting go, to be honest. I always have. I feel like a lot of times, I think that's a complicated. It's a complicated thing, and you got to sort of really. I think context really applies. If you're going to walk around sort of like going, using it as a sort of, I don't know, it's like a go-to thing. It's like, oh, I'm just going to let go. I'm just going to keep letting go, let go. Like what, like I think it's got to be, it's specific to circumstances. Bobby, you mentioned the tricky part of the whole serenity prayer being knowing the difference, okay, between what I should let go of and what I can control. And I've always maintained that. I think that's an incredibly tricky part, eh? And it's a difficult thing to it's a difficult thing to come to understand. What is it that I'm powerless over, and what is it that I'm not powerless over? What is it that how far should I go with exerting control or attempting to exert control over a given circumstance? Making that decision is really difficult and complicated. It can get and become very, very complicated. That's what I believe.
Yes, it definitely is very, I like what you said okay, so I just say, let's just say, today's the first day I heard let go. Oh, I'm going to practice this letting go. Letting go can be a thing that we use to not become responsible. Okay.
Yes.
It can really be the opposite. It could be like, oh, I'm using this in a new age thing where I'm going to let everything go when actually I'm not taking responsibility for the things that I can change. And I don't have the courage to do that. So it's in there. It's kind of weird, this damn little thing, this saying. There's a bunch of stuff in there. And the wisdom for me, it comes through time, understanding myself, the world, other people, life, studying different books, and me personally, I like a lot of Buddha practices. Ryan gave a example of a Buddhist thing that he read earlier. And I go by, how do you apply this right now in your life, right now? So let me just, I'll put it to you this way. I like to apply it in the now. I don't like to go back into the past. I like to use this practice right now. So I can't do it exactly right now, but I can do it like 10 minutes ago. Okay. Me and Ryan were having a kind of a debate, and me and Ryan like to debate about different things. We enjoy it. So we'll go back and forth. Now, in the olden days, I might have stepped beyond these bounds of debate and go with some anger and screw you. I believe this, and I don't know why you don't believe that. You don't believe me. So in that circumstance, like 10 minutes ago, I know how to let that go today and understand that we are both human beings. We both, our perception and our reality is different at this time. And I like Ryan. I love Ryan enough to let that go and not let that be a burden in my body, mind, and spirit, or my emotions, because we're talking about emotions here. Emotions get stirred up. And when we're talking about emotions, we're talking about dis-ease. Okay. Dis-ease. Let's even say disorder in the sense that I don't feel kind of in order. I kind of feel out of balance, out of order. And today I kind of feel it. It's a feeling. It's like when I'm disturbed, I can feel it, I'll give you an example. I gave this to Ryan, example of yesterday. A car, my wife was in between red light and she was making a turn, and this other car came in and almost hit us like that. And I had to grab the wheel and pull it back over. And I mean, it was close. And kind of we got into it. Why did you grab the wheel? What did you do? She was in my lane, but I was in her lane. I could have held on to that for an hour and a half. No, but me and my wife decided no. I let go. So I could feel it in my body. I could feel the disturbance. And my wife touched me, and actually I could feel something in my body where I didn't want to even touch her back, And these are things I recognized through years and years and years of screwing up. I use the word screwing up. It's not screwing up, but it's learning and practicing. Because I've been practicing this thing for so many friggin' years, and I haven't got it down pat. But I'll tell you what, I remember years ago when I would come home and we'd have fights. Me and my wife would have fights when I was drinking and drunk out for the whole weekend, and come back and we'd be fighting. Well, first of all, I had to sleep for 3 days, and then after I got up, I was all in remorse and shit. But even before that, we'd have fights. I would have silent scorn, remorse, silent scorn, self-pity for, I'm telling you, it could be a week. Okay. And I wouldn't let it go. My ego and my pride would not let it go. Okay. Until maybe she cut the ice a little bit, or something happened where we had to come together, and it came back together again. And then I felt peaceful again. I felt more at ease. That's just some examples. What do you guys think about some of that stuff?
Yeah, I think you've you're talking about letting go and being in the moment. And as you're talking, I'm thinking of how important that what you're talking about is actually, because I touched on it in the last group that I did, is getting to know yourself and understanding how much I maximize things, how much I minimize things, how I isolate my passive aggressive idiosyncrasies, and ultimately for me, where it all comes down to for me is how is that affecting my connection? How is that affecting the people around me? And I need to start asking myself some questions like, is this really something I want to take on? Is this really something I want to lose control over? If I take this on, will it get me closer to what my goals are in this day or in this week? And really just to stop and really take some time to think about what I'm experiencing. What, like you said, Bobby, your body kind of gets into the state and starts wanting to, tell you that you're in a state of discomfort. I think for me, it's important that in those times when I feel that very familiar, for me, I interpret that as my somatic intuition. I interpret that as my body telling me to fight or flight, and that to me is a signal to stop and ask some questions. Is there any legitimacy in what I'm feeling? Is there any facts to back up what I'm feeling? Is this something I want to lose control over? If I take this on, will it get me closer to what my goals are for this day, for this moment, or for this week?
Very good, Theo. Who else wants to jump in on that? Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to overanalyze it, see, Bobby. so I'm gonna be straight here, but Bobby asked me, we're gonna end off on a positive note with this one, and sort of leave the viewers and everybody that's watching with and I've got a very analytical kind of like try and look for the dark side of things, and especially after the events that I went through today. So maybe I should just abstain a little bit and maybe listen a bit more. I think that might be a bit more helpful. So I'm gonna let go and leave it to you guys.
You know what? You just did it right now. You just let that. I mean, it couldn't have been a better example of this. I mean, you just did it. I mean, that's this is what I love about this. So I told Ryan prior to the show, I said, let's just try to stay in to just this positive energy.
Yeah.
Let's not go deep. Let's not go dark. Let's not go negative. Even if we did, look at Ryan. He could have went, but he didn't. And he could, and that doesn't mean in an hour he's not going to come back and go there with it.
So I just checked the number of viewers that we had dropped drastically when I decided to let go like that. Hey,
it's okay. Guess what? That's good. We went from 1,000 viewers to 500. So
they came here for action, and there isn't going to be any. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, you know what? We're going to give him action. Me and Ryan's going to do a podcast just on action. Totally just on action. We'll get into that. But if I don't start doing, because this every Monday at this time it's 7 p.m. over near South Africa, but it's 10 a.m. over here in the United States. We are the solution. We look in the mirror. What do we see? Okay, we have the opportunity to see the problem or the solution. Some days I look at the problem, but most of the days I look at myself. I am the solution. I'm responsible. Today I'm responsible. So what Ryan's talking about, no, letting go does not mean becoming irresponsible, because people can use that to become a lazy ass and do nothing.
Or to be a pushover, Bobby.
What's that?
Or it doesn't mean being a pushover either.
Right. No.
Yeah. So
go ahead. Talk about that.
So for example, we were going through something with a family member who's in a very critical condition, and the hospital seemed to, it's a time sensitive illness. If at least if you ask me, it's a time sensitive illness. So she had a brain aneurysm, and like, you know, scans are necessary as quickly as possible. You know, and you know, the hospital wasn't sort of coming to the party in a timeous fashion, and at least the way I saw it. And I wasn't prepared to accept that. And I sort of, you know, I got on the phone, and then I got in my car and I drove there, and we, you know, sorted things out. And I was tempted to become very sort of, to almost act out in an aggressive way or in a violent way almost as well. Obviously, you know, being an emotional topic or whatever, or situation. And but, you know, at the same time, you also want to kind of preserve the relationship with the doctor, so that, you know, things, you know, what I was saying to you earlier, Bobby, it's like with relationships, right? There's this other saying that I've often heard that I use personally in that, in the same way that I use the phrase letting go, right? It's, do I want to be happy or do I want to be right? Okay. Because I'm the kind of person that more often than not, I want to be right. Okay.
Yeah, but let me stop you, Ryan. Let me just stop you right there, because I want to bring the point in where you just to separate what we're talking about. Ryan had the courage, because he told me this whole, and he's going to finish up with the story. He had the courage enough to not accept certain things, and he had the courage enough to become responsible and make the call, go down to the hospital, press his point a little bit, and got something done. Now that to me is knowing what you can change and can't change. So Ryan did some really courageous things today.
Okay. Bobby, I don't think so. So, you know, it's actually one of my wife's very close family members, right? And she was actually trying to resolve the situation before I got involved. And my wife's not the kind of person to sort of, you know, stand her ground. She struggles with asserting herself. Okay. And that scares me. Because, you know, if I'm not around, like, what's gonna, you know, there are bad people. See, now I'm going to a dark place. Let me just slow down. But there are people who want to push other people around. Do you know what I mean? And sort of, you know, my wife did not get the outcome that I got because she doesn't have the same temperament that I do, let's say, you know. So, you know, and I think that's true for a lot of different people, you know, and her sort of, you know, where she draws the line in terms of what I can control and what I can't control is different to where I draw the line. Do you know what I mean? I draw my lines, my bars very sort of, you know, like exactly. I draw in the sand right there. You know what I mean? She draws it.
But let's stop right there. Let's talk about that. Exactly. So here you are in a marriage. Okay, so here you are too, and I can relate that to my wife because she takes care of some things that I don't take care of. Okay, so you're complementing each other. You're there for her. She's there for you. You're doing some things that maybe she can't do. My wife asks me to do things that she doesn't like to do. Okay, so yeah, we're all not the same. Letting go thing is an individual thing. And
so yeah, you're right. So, you know, and just another. So I'm gonna go a little bit dark, if you don't mind, just a little bit. So. Actually, this whole conversation has just brought to mind for me. There was this politician that was diagnosed with cancer, and I think somebody's echoing there. I think it might be you, Tony. Sorry, man. So anyway, it might be Theo. Let me just mute. Okay. So anyway, so this politician was diagnosed with cancer, and he was given, I think he was given 3 or 6 months to live. Okay. And what he decided to do was he decided to go to every single possible length to try and cure his cancer, which meant, I mean, he traveled the globe. I mean, he sort of went to any length. And at the end of it, you know, the pain got too much and he opted out and he went for a assisted suicide sort of thing. Okay. And his family member in the news article, they sort of gave a bit of some feedback on what happened and all the rest of it. And one of the family members said they really wished that he just surrendered to the fact that he was going to die in X amount of time, and that he spent more time with his family during that period. So that's a difficult and complicated thing. Like if I'm diagnosed with cancer and I'm not going to see my daughter, I'm not going to sort of like walk her down the aisle, and my son's going to go through whatever he goes through, and I'm going to miss all this and I'm going to miss all that. Like, am I going to fight to the death, to try and figure out how to cure this? Am I going to go to any length, or am I going to surrender to the fact that I'm probably going to die and spend up my remaining months with my family? So Bobby, again, the knowledge, so knowing what I can control and what I can't control, I sometimes think that the answer, I believe that sometimes we can never answer that question. I believe that sometimes that question is unanswerable.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so I agree with that. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Sometimes it's very difficult in very difficult situations. Okay, so that gentleman made his decision. That's not your decision. So even us talking about his decision, that was his life. That wasn't your life. Every life is different. Everybody's going to be letting go at different stages, and everybody might not let go. And are you going to do the right thing? Look, we're all learning. We're all going to have some regrets. I have regrets. Did I let go? I could tell you some stories that I didn't let go, and I got screwed up. Okay, I could tell you all these stories, and I'm probably going to have another one, a story. Does that mean I'm going to be perfect in this letting go process, in this art of letting go? Hell no. Hell no.
Sure.
Everybody's different. And in that situation, that gentleman tried his best. But if it went, how about if it went the other way? Okay, it can always go the other way, because his story ain't the only story. There's people that fought and fought and fought, and they lived, and the cancer was in remission. Okay, so every story is different. So we can't go by one story and say who let go, who didn't let go. But we can.
But, the point being that that knowledge, man, it's a difficult one to find. And on a positive sort of, from a if we want to move towards sort of like if we want to sort of help people find answers to how it is to discern what it is that we can control and can't control. I think that comes down to having a good community or a relationship with solid advisors, I'm going to call them, right? So like in an AA scenario, like a sponsor, or even this crowd here right now, you guys, could probably give some solid feedback and help a person sort of examine a particular scenario. Sorry.
You know what? You're right with the sponsor stuff, but there's many times that my sponsor suggested some things to do and I didn't do it. Okay, sure. So everybody doesn't listen to their sponsor. That's just a reality. People think everybody listens to everything their sponsor says to them, and that's not true. Eventually, I got to learn through my experience and through my trials and tribulations what letting go means to me and when I'm going to be able to do it. So.
Well, I mean, my point being, having people that you trust, that you can talk to.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, Ryan.
Tony, you've got something to say. I know you do, man.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you guys are saying, and all of it makes 100% sense. And as far as the sponsor thing goes, I see it as very much else in this recovery program that I'm in. You get a lot of advice from everybody, and some people like ourselves that's on this group has experienced it, and their advice seems to be more relevant than the know-it-alls out there. I mean, I've got lots of mates that are telling me everything's going to be fine and well done, and did you really have to go to rehab and all that kind of shit? You choose who you want to listen to. You take advice, you hear advice, and you decide if you're going to use that advice. And in this case, where we're talking specifically about letting go, I've got to let go of the things I've done and created, the damage, the collateral damage that I caused up to this point where I am. People who I go and apologize to, they've got the choice if they want to let go, and I've got to accept if they do or don't, and then play it as far as that's concerned, coming from a AA point on this one. And you're not going to keep everybody happy. You're not even always going to keep yourself happy with the decisions that you've got to make. Sometimes it's very difficult to do the right stuff. And take it from there. It's life. And Ryan, best of luck with what you and your family is going through. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of you, because the one thing that I hate in my life is lazy people and fucking bullies. Those people need to get fucked up. I don't have time for them, and I'm the first one in the queue to go and do something like that. And in South Africa, we've got those two problems: lazy people and bullies. And we've got to stand up and fight for other people's rights. Like you said, you've got your wife that's very soft. That's when you stand up and do your own, do the fighting for the family and for the loved one that's sick, because you know you're doing the right thing in your heart. Throwing chairs and breaking faces might not help too much in this case, because you're in jail and the loved one's still sick, and the doctor that's pissed off is not really going to help you. So I think you've done it in a very correct manner. You're sitting there, you're not in jail, so unless this is a live broadcast from jail. But yeah, we've got to stand up and do the right things, unfortunately at times, but it doesn't have to be a daily thing. And what Bobby's saying, we've got a choice. When do we get to it? Theo mentioned to it earlier on as well. He said, where you've got that choice, is this one of those times that I've got to go that far? Like I said, my biggest thing at the moment is the collateral damage that I've left. My girlfriend, she's gone through hell and back with me, but obviously she's normal. She's standing by me, but in the back of her mind, she's never said it. I'm saying it. She's worried what's going to happen if I ever take a drink again. Are we going to be able to have this stable relationship that we've got at the moment? Are we going to be able to talk to each other in a civil manner like we are at the moment? Are we going to be able to discuss things that are important? Because the moment I hit that tequila, the brain cells just fuck out, and I'll become an idiot.
So that's some important stuff there. But listen, guys, before we continue, I just want to quickly switch over, if that's okay. So to anyone listening on the public channels, if you guys want to join us on the MyRehab Cafe group, please go to www.myrehabcafe.com or .co.za. That's where all the action happens, and we got some action coming now. I'm going to get controversial, so follow us there. It's going to be interesting. Hey, cool. Give us a few minutes, guys.